After an extremely turbulent week in the NBA that resulted in a remarkable step forward for change in terms of social injustices going on in our society, I'm happy to say that not only is the NBA going to resume playing on Saturday, but there's a bunch of changes that are going to occur as a result of that. And I'm going to get to that really quickly. Before we get to the content, guys, make sure you leave a like to help this channel grow. Subscribe and turn my notifications on if you want to get the latest NBA news to your devices. And I'm going to be live streaming on Twitch as soon as this video goes up. A link to that's in the description down below. I stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays at 9 p.m. Pacific time, and I'm giving away multiple copies of NBA 2K21 on Instagram and Twitter. Links to those giveaways are in the description down below. Now that we got all that out of the way, cue the intro. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Your boy Mike here, and we have some fantastic news in regards to the NBA resuming on Saturday, which is fantastic because a couple of days ago I thought that the NBA playoffs were going to be gone for good. I know personally I'm going to really appreciate every last minute of basketball once the NBA resumes. But the NBA isn't just resuming all willy-nilly. There's actually significant change that was brought about as a result of the boycott of the NBA playoffs. It was mentioned in the statement between NBA PA Executive Director Michele Roberts, and we're going to get to more about her in a minute because she's involved in some craziness that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But Michele Roberts and Adam Silver released the following joint statement today. We had a candid, impassioned, and productive conversation yesterday between NBA players, coaches, and team governors regarding next steps to further our collective efforts and actions in support of social justice and racial equality. Among others, the attendees included player and team representatives of all 13 teams in Orlando. All parties agreed to resume NBA playoff games on Saturday, August 29th, with the understanding that the league, together with the players, will work to enact the following commitments. The first one being the NBA and its players have agreed to immediately establish a social justice coalition with representatives from players, coaches, and governors that will be focused on a broad range of issues, including increasing access to voting, promoting civic engagement, and advocating for meaningful police and criminal justice reform. 2. In every city where the league franchise owns and controls the arena property, team governors will continue to work with local elections officials to convert the facility into a voting location for the 2020 general election to allow for a safe in-person voting option for communities vulnerable to COVID. If a deadline has passed, team governors will work with local elections officials to find another election-related use for the facility, including but not limited to voter registration and ballot receiving boards. 3. The league will work with players and our network partners to create and include advertising spots in each NBA playoff game dedicated to promoting greater civic engagement in national and local elections and raising awareness around voter access and opportunity. These commitments follow months of close collaboration around designing a safe and healthy environment to restart the NBA season, providing a platform to promote social justice, as well as creating an NBA foundation focused on economic empowerment in the Black community. We look forward to the resumption of the playoffs and continuing to work together in Orlando and in all NBA team markets to push for meaningful and sustainable change. I personally think this is a remarkable statement by the NBA because not only are they going to bring about change, but it also shows that they value their players' input and really care about their players' values and will do whatever it takes to make sure that their players are heard. And that in of itself is remarkable, and I think that's something that we shouldn't take for granted. Because I've seen leagues like the NFL and even the MLB completely ignore what the players are asking for, and it's really nice to see that the NBA, within a few days, is doing whatever it takes to make sure that its players are happy and is contributing to its players' cause. But that's not before there was a little bit of an altercation involving Patrick Beverley and Michele Roberts, and this all occurred during the NBA's meeting about whether they should continue the boycott or if they should continue the NBA playoffs. And in this meeting, there is a point where Michele Roberts, the executive director of the NBA Players Union, asked if she could have the floor to speak about the financial ramifications of dissolving the bubble and leaving Orlando. And while she was going over the numbers, Patrick Beverley abruptly interrupted her, saying that he disagreed with her logic. And then sources said that Roberts kindly reiterated that these were potential losses the players would suffer, and then Patrick Beverley would interrupt again. Roberts asked politely if she could continue with her point, and then Patrick Beverley responded, "No, because I pay your salary." Now, this caused a situation with Chris Paul, Udonis Haslem, and others who intervened and told Beverley that disrespect would not be tolerated. And after 3 hours with emotions running high, players agreed to meet again on 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Thursday to make a decision on the season. This was what happened during the meeting on Wednesday night. Now look, Twitter is absolutely letting Patrick Beverley have it and is absolutely destroying Patrick Beverley. And I understand, Patrick Beverley isn't the most liked person in the NBA. Of course he's not. He's actually very, very disliked because, well, he likes to talk. And I think he also comes off as very, very ignorant in this meeting. But there's something you guys have to take into account. And I don't mean to defend Patrick Beverley attacking a woman that's clearly trying to help him, clearly trying to tell him what will happen to him financially if he leaves the NBA bubble. I don't mean to defend him at all, but I want you to actually take into consideration the scenario emotionally each and every player was in on Wednesday night. 3 straight games were boycotted in response to the Jacob Blake shootings. This is clearly a very sensitive situation. Emotions were definitely running at an all-time high, and I do think that Patrick Beverley's outburst may have been a result of that. Now, I don't want to justify what he was saying. I just think it's only fair that you should take that into consideration when you think, why would an individual do something like that? But Patrick Beverley even gave us his own response as to why he said those things to Michele Roberts during Wednesday night's meeting.
I guess, would you care to address kind of what transpired between yourself and Michele Roberts? There's obviously, that was the topic.
We had a very interesting conversation. The PA is like a family. I'm pretty sure everyone here, and all the cameras pointing to me, everyone's part of a family. You don't always agree with your family members, and that's okay. You communicated about it, and you try to make it better. And whatever the dialogue was, or whatever you guys think it is, we made things better yesterday, meeting with the owners, and that's the most important.
If you guys enjoy the content, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and turn on my notifications. I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next update.